Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar, Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect. It's Paya Allah from the GMS London camp coming at you with some news and prophecy. This is from, this is centered around New Year's Eve, a highly demonic day. Okay, year upon year, death tolls just go through the roof. And I know, speaking from London, in the UK, England, every New Year's Eve, man, there's always a stabbing, shooting, or something, and that's because these Esau, man, a so-called white man, according to the Bible, who fulfills prophecy outlined within the scriptures, is basically moving forward with his New World Order agenda, headed by the Rothschilds, Rockefeller, the banking elite families, to bring about a one world, a one world rulership under their strong arm of satanic worship, and in doing so, they're conjuring up power by making sacrifices unto Satan. This is an article from the Telegraph. New Year's Eve murders, four young men stabbed to death in London. Okay, and one of these was actually close to where one is situated. Four young men were stabbed to death in separate attacks on New Year's Eve, marking one of the worst days of knife crime in the capital. The attacks across London were, which are being treated as unrelated. You see, it said being treated as unrelated. That shows you that them four attacks happening in conjunction with, on the same night, shows you that there's suspicion to believe, that someone went out there and like coordinated these attacks. But which did happen? It was Satan. Satan coordinated those attacks to happen all at once. Okay, on that night, to conjure up more demonic energy within the city. Okay, marked the end of a year which has seen knife and gun crime on the rise, and brings the total number of people stabbed to death in the city to 80. One of the victims was 17 and another 18, bringing the total number of teenagers killed in London last year to a decade high of 26. Okay, so that shows you these sacrifices and these death tolls are getting ramped up. It comes just days after Cressida Dick, the Metropolitan Police Commissioner, suggested budget cuts were to blame for rising knife crime, saying that this area is where she would focus any extra resources. So a call for more police out on the streets. The deaths have renewed calls from campaigners for tougher sentences for those carrying knives, and will be seen as a setback in London Mayor Sadiq Khan and his aim to get a strong stranglehold on a year-on-year increase in knife crime. The day of violence began at 11:30 on 31st of December, when an 18-year-old man was stabbed in Enfield, North London, and taken to hospital where he later died. 5 men have since been arrested. A 20-year-old man was fatally stabbed in West Ham, East London. College student died from single stab wound in Tulse Hill, South London, after altercation on a bus. A 20-year-old man was stabbed to death in Old Street, East London. A second man in his 20s was taken to hospital suffering critical injuries. So you can see these deaths, man. They go out with the vibration of Satan upon that day. Okay, and being out in an area where other side it was madness. There was car crashes, like all manner of craziness, man. You know, walking down the road, guys walking down with fireworks. It was just abysmal. Satan was in the air. Okay, Satan was definitely in the air. Just the acts that you see people committing during that time of the day, night. Sorry, you could tell that Satan was out there, man, and they were losing their mind. Satanic suicide. Tourist couple found dead on Greek island. A tourist couple found dead in a Greek guest house on New Year's Eve appear to have died by suicide during a satanic ceremony, according to the local authorities. So now this shows you, apparently it was a suicide, okay, at a satanic ceremony. Now, if you know anything about satanic ceremonies, it's about blood sacrifices. You can check out the satanic calendar, and they have certain high holy days which actually offer saying that. Um, uh, saying that the satanic calendar, where they actually tell you what sacrifices are to be made. Shit, during certain times of the day. Well, I'm offline at the moment, so when you look up, it'll show you that certain sacrifices are to be made on certain days and certain satanic acts as well, sexual acts and whatnot, in order to conjure up energy in tune with that day. Okay, which I'm sure death marks. And let's not forget. How could I forget? You had a super moon on that night, and then you had the wolf moon that followed the next night. So the energy, and it was a full moon, man, mind you, middle of the month, mid-month, full moon. So you know that when the sun's out, I mean, the moon's out on that level. Okay, full moon, super in size. It turns people lunatic. Okay, so you could see that energy was highly out there. So that was just, we're talking about a slew of demonic energy being utilized upon that day. The bodies were found on New Year's Eve by the owner of the property where they had reportedly been staying since December 26th. Knives, candles, and satanic pentagram were found at the scene, leading police to believe the couple may have taken part in a satanic ritual, according to Inkefolina. Coroner Angelica Tisola said in her report that the woman died first by cutting herself with a blade. The man then allegedly stabbed himself in the heart while in the bath. Okay, so you see demonic, energy being vibrated out there, pentagrams and whatnot. And this is really because the year that we're in is closer to the end, man. Isaiah 47:12. Stand now in thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. Right? Esau's dabbled into witchcraft from his youth. And how do we know this? Let's go back to Cain. Okay, when he was first put upon earth, his spirit was first put upon earth. What did he do? He offered fruit as a sacrifice, knowing the instruction of what form of sacrifice you ought to do. Okay, and we know that rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, because witchcraft is basically, as Alistair Crowley put it, basically whatever the Bible says tells you not to do, you go forth and do. And that's rebellion, which is witchcraft in its totality. Okay, and that's what they've labored in since their youth. Okay, witchcraft. If so, thou shalt be able to profit. If so, thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in a multitude of thy counsels. That's right. At this point in time, Esau, Revelation 12:12 tells you the devil, knowing that he has a short time, cometh down with great wrath. Okay, so he is actually pushing forth his agenda even harder and getting wearied in a multitude of his councils. His think tanks, his hellish priestly, you know, meetings. He's basically getting wearied, man. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, monthly prognosticators. See, monthly prognosticators. We were talking about a full moon. Okay, that's part of the word month goes back to moon. Stand up and save thee from the things that shall come upon thee, and that's what they're trying to do. So with that, man, I pray you edify. Shalom.